Why does your heart race before your feet even touch the floor? Why does every morning feel like a battle? Why do you wake up exhausted from dreams that should have given you rest? Why is stillness so loud? Why does silence feel like failure? And why does slowing down feel like falling behind? If you've ever asked yourself these questions, this story is yours. You wake up with your heart already racing. Before you even get out of bed, the pressure returns. Another day, another race you feel you have to run. The world outside is moving fast, and every second feels like it's slipping away. Outside your window, the morning light paints the sky, but you hardly notice. The beauty of dawn is lost on you as you brace yourself for the day's battle. You lie there for a moment, already running through your to-do list. There's no calm, no slow beginning, only the racing of your heart and that familiar pit in your stomach. You check your phone even before washing your face. Notifications, emails, messages, all reminders that today you must not slow down. The competition is fierce. Everyone seems to be miles ahead. You feel if you blink, you'll miss your chance to catch up. The bright screen is the sun of your morning, demanding your attention. For every notification you clear, 2 more pop up. You haven't even brushed your teeth, and you're already neck deep in the day's demands. You skip breakfast again. Because who has time to eat? There's a deadline looming, a meeting in half an hour, a goal you promised to reach by day's end. You can't even remember the last time you truly savored a morning. Each dawn has become just the starting gun of another marathon. Your stomach growls in protest, but you ignore it. You promise yourself you'll eat later, but later rarely comes. Hunger becomes just another discomfort to push through. You gulp down your 3rd cup of coffee like medicine for your exhaustion, hardly tasting it. By midday, your shoulders are stiff, your eyes ache from staring at screens, but you push on. There's always more to do, always another task, another email, another expectation. You run on nervous energy and willpower. Even as your body pleads for a break, your mind cracks the whip. Keep going. Outside your office window, you see a couple of colleagues walking to lunch, laughing at something. You don't join them. You can't afford to. You stay at your desk, chipping away at an ever-growing mountain of work. You allow yourself a 5-minute break and glance at your phone. Social media shows someone announcing they've started a new business. Another post screams, "No excuses, work harder." You swallow the lump in your throat. Rest feels like a luxury you haven't earned. Those words on the screen make your heart sink. How can you possibly rest when the world is telling you to run faster? Even on weekends, you find it hard to slow down. On a rare Sunday with no urgent tasks, you feel restless. A voice in your head nags, you should be doing something productive. Relaxation feels like guilt, as if you're missing a chance to get ahead. The idea of doing nothing fills you with anxiety, as if the world might leave you behind in those few hours. You try to watch a movie to relax, but 10 minutes in, you've checked your email twice. You try to nap, but guilt jolts you awake. Rest isn't restful. It's suffocating. It's not just today or this week. You've been running nonstop for as long as you can remember. In school, it was the race for top grades. In college, the race for a better future. Then the race to land a good job, then to climb the career ladder. Ever since you were little, you were told to keep pushing, to never waste time. Play later, work now, rest later, achieve now. But later never truly comes. It just becomes the next challenge. It's been so long since you did anything just for fun, that you wouldn't know what to do with a free hour. The concept of free time itself feels alien. You remember a moment from childhood, one afternoon bringing home a test with an A instead of an A. The look of mild disappointment on your mother's face stung worse than any scolding or punishment. You remember your cheeks burning with shame, promising you'd do better. So you studied harder, longer. You learned that to be loved, to be praised, you had to achieve. Relaxation was laziness, play was waste. These lessons sank in deep. And so, in chasing success relentlessly, other parts of your life have withered. You can't remember the last time you had a relaxed dinner with your family without checking your watch. You've lost touch with friends. You decline invitations because you have work to do. Hobbies you once loved collect dust. Joyous moments are postponed for later, a later that never comes. All the things that make life rich and worth living have been quietly pushed aside. Last month, you missed your best friend's birthday party because you were catching up on work. You tell yourself they'll understand. But with each missed moment, you feel a piece of you slipping away. Even when you get home, the work isn't over. Dinner is a quick affair, sometimes just a sandwich at your desk as you respond to a few more emails. There's an unspoken expectation that you're always available. At 10 p.m. your phone buzzes, an email from your boss with a new request. You answer it immediately, suppressing the urge to scream that you're off the clock. Because in your world, the clock never really stops. By the time you finally shut the laptop, it's past midnight. Your body is in bed, but your mind is still at work, churning. You make it through the day on adrenaline and anxiety. When night falls, you collapse onto your bed like a puppet with its strings cut, body exhausted but mind still racing. Thoughts of all you didn't finish, all you have to do tomorrow, swirl in your head. You stare at the ceiling in the dark, wondering if life is supposed to feel like this. The city outside is finally quiet, streetlights glowing in the silence. Everyone else seems to be resting, but not you. Your mind won't let you. You wonder how long you can live like this, running on fumes, wondering if tomorrow it will finally break you. Deep down, you feel something is off. You've been taught that success requires sacrifice, that without pain there is no gain. But how much pain is enough? How much is too much? A small voice inside you whispers, begging for rest, for relief. It grows louder each day, and whenever that thought of rest crosses your mind, guilt slams into you. You immediately berate yourself for even considering slowing down. Inside you, two voices clash. One, harsh and relentless, barks, "Get up, keep going, if you slow down you'll fall behind." The other is small and weary. "I'm so tired. Please, just a minute, just 1 minute to breathe." The harsh voice sneers, calling the other weak. The softer voice falls silent again. And you, caught in between, feel your heart squeeze painfully. You feel like a rope being tugged from both ends, a part of you trying to hold on, another part ready to snap. You remember not long ago when the world came to a standstill. Streets emptied, offices closed. Everything slowed down because it had to. In that strange stillness, you caught a glimpse of another life. Yes, it was frightening, the uncertainty, the isolation, but also, strangely, peaceful. For a moment, you could breathe without feeling like you were falling behind. You promised yourself that if life went back to normal, you wouldn't forget this feeling. You wouldn't lose sight of what truly mattered. You recall how you did simple things then, cooking a meal slowly, taking walks just to feel the sun, even sitting quietly with your thoughts, and how those moments felt strangely fulfilling in their simplicity. But now, normal has returned, and it's as if the world is trying to make up for lost time by running faster than ever. The race resumed, and you find yourself sprinting, gasping, forgetting that promise you made. The peaceful moments you once cherished have been replaced by an even louder hustle, a frenzy to catch up on everything you think you missed. You see it everywhere. People working overtime, boasting about how they grinded through the pandemic and beyond, wearing exhaustion like a badge of honor. You ask yourself, what happened to that vow? What happened to the person who said they'd put mental health first? When did I lose them? You feel like you're betraying yourself every time you ignore the need to rest, but you don't know how to stop. It's a cruel irony. You're breaking the promises you made to yourself. You, who should be on your own side, have become your own tyrant. Late at night, you catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror. The person you see has dark circles under their eyes and a face drained of joy. You barely recognize them. You force a smile, just to see if you still can. But it looks hollow. In that silence, you finally admit to yourself, you are not okay. For a second, you wonder if that reflection is a stranger. You whisper to it, what are we doing? What have we become? Maybe it's the day's exhaustion, or a tiny setback like dropping a glass, but one night something in you finally breaks. Alone in the darkness of your room, you burst into tears, muffling your sobs into your pillow so no one hears. You feel weak for crying, ashamed that you're not strong enough to handle everything. By morning, you wipe your tears, put on a fake smile, and drown yourself in bitter coffee, pretending last night never happened. Eventually, exhaustion knocks you out, and you sleep with dried tears on your cheeks. Outside, rain begins to patter against the window, as if the world knows your pain and weeps with you. When you finally drift into a troubled sleep, the nightmares come. You dream you're running in a race, but the finish line keeps moving further away. No matter how fast you sprint, you never catch up. In another dream, you're taking an exam, but the questions are in a language you don't understand and time is running out. You jolt awake at 3 a.m., heart pounding, sweat on your brow. The darkness of the room feels suffocating, mirroring the panic from your dreams. You sit up, press your palms against your eyes, willing yourself to calm down. It's just a dream, you tell yourself, but the dread is real. Even sleep isn't a refuge anymore. You keep going until eventually you can't. Perhaps one day at work, your hands start shaking and your vision blurs. Out of nowhere, a wave of panic hits you. Your heart pounds erratically, your chest tightens, and you can't catch your breath. You rush to the restroom, trembling and terrified. A full-blown anxiety attack stopping you in your tracks. Or maybe one morning you wake up and your body simply won't move, every limb too heavy. One way or another, you are forced to stop. Forced to finally face the fact that this is unsustainable. Perhaps a doctor insists you take a week off to recover. A week? The thought terrifies you. You've never stepped away that long. But you have no choice. In that forced stillness, you resist it at first. It feels wrong to do nothing, but with no choice, you lie still, and then you discover something. The world doesn't crumble when you pause. The sky doesn't fall because you took a day off. Lying there, you notice you're still alive, still breathing, and in that breath there is something new, or something you had forgotten, a whisper of peace. From your window, you notice things you used to tune out. Birds chirping, the distant sounds of life carrying on. The world continues spinning, unaffected by your pause. In your lowest moment, you finally consider reaching out. One evening, with trembling hands, you call a close friend and admit, in a trembling voice, that you're not okay. You expect disappointment or judgment, but instead you hear a soft understanding on the other end. I feel it too. Your friend confesses they've been struggling just like you, hiding behind a brave face. Both of you had been pretending to be fine while drowning inside. In that shared moment of truth, you realize you're not weak. You're human. And you are not alone. It's the first time you've said these words out loud. You start to realize that healing is not a waste of time, that taking care of yourself is not laziness, but necessary. You begin with small steps. Maybe you sit by the window with a cup of tea, feeling the warmth in your hands and letting your mind rest. Maybe you take a short walk with no destination, just to feel the sun on your face. Perhaps you pick up a pen and scribble in a journal late at night, pouring out the feelings you've bottled up. You remind yourself, if you had a broken leg, you wouldn't try to run a marathon on it. So why keep running on a broken spirit? It feels strange, unfamiliar, to do something not for achievement, but just for you. At first, it's uncomfortable. That voice urging you to get back to work is still there. But this time, you listen a little more to the other voice, the gentle one that says it's okay. As days pass, you allow yourself to slow down, bit by bit. And a funny thing happens. You start to feel alive again. You laugh at something silly. You sleep better one night. You find moments of joy in places you used to ignore. A cool breeze, the taste of your food, the voice of a friend. Piece by piece, you are regaining the parts of you that you had buried under relentless hustle. One morning, you wake up and realize that heavy weight on your chest is a little lighter. You notice the sky more often now, the way clouds drift, the color of dusk. You catch yourself smiling at the sound of birds at dawn. One evening, you allow yourself to watch the sunset. You realize it's the first time in years you've truly watched day turn to night without your mind racing elsewhere. The sky is painted brilliant orange and pink, and you find tears in your eyes. Not from sadness, but because you'd forgotten how peaceful beauty can feel when you stop to notice it. You wonder how many sunsets you missed all those years when you were shut in an office or glued to a screen. The conflict isn't completely gone. Some mornings you still feel that familiar anxiety, that urge to sprint. But now you know there's another path. Now you know that slowing down doesn't mean giving up. It means choosing to live, not just survive. It means making time to heal, so that when you hustle, you're doing it with a whole heart, not a broken one. On those days, you take an extra minute in the morning to breathe, to remind yourself that it's okay to pace yourself. You start to redefine what success means to you. Maybe it's not about having the most money or the most impressive job title. Maybe success is also about being happy, about being healthy, about enjoying your life while you have it. This realization doesn't come all at once. It grows slowly, like the morning light creeping in after a long night. You begin to value things you used to dismiss, leaving work on time, having a calm evening, feeling at peace. These become new markers of success, alongside any promotion or raise. You realize that you were never truly alone in this struggle. So many others feel the same pressure, the same conflict between hustling and healing. Your friends, your generation, quietly, many of them are questioning the same things. You notice it even on social media. People talking about setting boundaries, saying no to extra work, prioritizing mental health. It's subtle but growing, a refusal to accept burnout as normal. Some have begun to push back against the grind. Some are saying out loud, we are not machines. We deserve to rest. We deserve to live. You start noticing stories of others making changes you once thought unthinkable. A friend of a friend quits a high-paying job to travel the world, seeking meaning beyond a paycheck. A once obsessed coworker leaves the city for a simpler life in a small town. At first you thought they were running away, giving up. But now you wonder if they were actually finding something. Freedom, peace. It makes you question everything you once defined as success. And what you're feeling is part of a movement, even if a quiet one. The world is waking up to the idea that our value is more than our productivity, that mental and emotional health matter, that there is bravery in stepping back to heal, that sometimes slowing down is the most courageous thing you can do in a world stuck on fast forward. You come to understand something profound. You are not a machine. Your worth is not defined by the hours you work or the things you produce. You are not your job title or your bank balance. You are a human being, deserving of love and rest simply because you exist. You have nothing to prove to be worthy of a good life. You always were worthy, from the moment you were born. You picture yourself as a little child, the one who used to laugh freely and play without worry. What would you say to that child now? Would you tell them they're not good enough unless they work themselves to the bone? No, you'd scoop them up and let them rest in your arms. You'd tell them they're perfect as they are, that they deserve happiness. That realization brings tears to your eyes. All along, that child has lived within you, begging for the same compassion you offer others. One day at work, a younger colleague confides in you that they're struggling, that they feel exhausted. In the past, you might have just echoed the usual mantra, hang in there, work harder. But now you find yourself sharing a different message. You encourage them to set boundaries, to take care of themselves. You tell them what you wish someone had told you, that it's okay to rest. As the words leave your mouth, you realize you truly believe them. So now you breathe. You let yourself breathe. You begin to balance hustle and healing like the inhale and exhale of your life. When you work, you give it your all. But you also give yourself permission to rest, to recover. You begin to trust that the path to success includes pit stops for self-care, and that those stops don't derail you, they sustain you. You look in the mirror, and for the first time in a long while, you smile at the person you see. They're not a failure for resting. They're a survivor, a warrior who fights battles no one else sees. You feel proud, because choosing to heal and grow in a world that demands you to run is not easy. But you're doing it. You even whisper to your reflection, I'm proud of you. There will still be days when you hustle hard and chase your dreams, and days when you slow down and heal your soul. And that's okay. Both are not just okay, they are necessary. You're finding the balance that works for you. You're proving that you can slow down and still move forward, that you can pause and still progress. That rest can be a part of growth, not the enemy of it. You've made rest a part of your journey, a fuel rather than a reward. And it's working. Your story is far from over. In fact, this feels like the beginning of a new chapter. The burnout, the tears, the doubts, they were not the end of you. They were the turning point. They were the moments that gave you a new perspective. Now every scar is a reminder of what you've overcome, and every breath you take in peace is a victory. So breathe deeply and step forward into tomorrow with hope. This time, you carry with you a newfound strength. The strength of someone who has faced the storm inside and learned to calm it. The strength of someone who will hustle on their own terms and heal on their own terms. The conflict between hustle and healing is not a curse. It's a journey, one that is making you wiser, stronger, and more alive than ever. The sun rises on a new day, his heart steady, mind calm. You know the race out there will continue, but you no longer feel forced to run blindly. You will run when you choose, rest when you need, and you will win in your own way. Because now you understand, hustle and healing can coexist, and with both, you will find your way. The heart that once raced with anxiety now beats calmly with hope, and you step into the new day knowing you are finally alive, not just surviving. You rise from bed, not with dread, but with a gentle determination. You take the time to stretch, to feel the floor beneath your feet. You make a simple breakfast and actually taste each bite. The day is yours to shape, not just to endure. You silently thank your past self for holding on, and thank yourself for choosing a new way forward.